see if I can do this. Okay, wait, let's just start from the beginning. Hi everyone, it's Soolin and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm doing a sit down video, which is really weird because I've never really done a sit down video. So as you guys know, this is a Q&A video. I asked you guys on Instagram and on YouTube any questions you guys had for me about Northeastern, about college, about my life. And so I'm just gonna go in really no apparent order. I'm also gonna start with my high school stats because I know a lot of you guys have been interested in that, and then also a little bit about me and where I'm within Northeastern. But also, I'm wearing my Northeastern sweater. Tip for those of you guys entering Northeastern, I actually didn't buy any of my sweaters and sweatshirts from actual Northeastern because it's freaking overpriced. I personally got mine on Poshmark and some other sites, just secondhand clothing sites. One, it's better for the environment, but two, it's also just cheaper. I think I got this for 20 bucks, and this sweater is usually 50-60 bucks on the Northeastern site, so definitely don't waste your money buying a new one. Anyway, but yeah, that just saves you so much money on trying to get college gear, especially because no one's really gonna notice anyway whether it's new or not. But yeah, anyway, so I'm afraid this video is gonna be so long because I just talk so much in general. This might be really boring, but please stick with me. So I'm gonna start with who I am. My name is Soolin. I'm a first year at Northeastern University. I'm currently in my second semester of my first year at Northeastern. I'm actually home right now, but I did do my first semester in Boston. A lot of you guys actually asked why I stayed home this semester, and to be honest, one of the main reasons was just because I'm currently fostering a dog. I compared my life here to Boston, and I was like, meh, it's really not that different just because I'm studying in my dorm all day. So at least here I can foster Max. But basically it was just in Boston, as nice as Boston was, and I really do miss Boston and I'm so ready to go back. I was pretty much in my dorm 24/7. I had little to no social interactions. My roommate and I didn't really talk. I mean, she's nice and she seems like a pretty good person, and in the beginning, if you guys saw in my move-in videos and things like that, we did stuff together, we went out, and then through the course of as semester started and we started going into classes, and I guess kind of our individual personalities started to really show, I think we just both kind of realized we're not that compatible and we don't have the same interests as much. I don't know. I honestly don't remember when it started, but we just kind of stopped talking to each other and it was kind of awkward. And so it's just a little uncomfortable, honestly. I don't know, maybe I'm antisocial, guys, or maybe my personality just sucks, but we just didn't really vibe, and I think that's okay. You're not gonna vibe with everyone you meet. I wouldn't call it a bad roommate experience, but I would say it wasn't the best. Obviously the best situation would be actually becoming friends with my roommate, but yeah, it was just a little awkward and uncomfortable, and so I was maybe I'll just stay in Florida. As much as I hate Florida, I figured I'm just gonna be in my house all day anyway, so we moved on. But yeah, I'm a first year at Northeastern. My first semester I lived in East Village and in Boston on campus, and then second semester I'm currently home. Next year, I don't know where I'm gonna be yet. Anyway, high school stats. Let's just get right into it. When I applied to Northeastern, I applied as a studio arts BFA major because I knew I was trying to go into the creative direction, but I wasn't quite sure what I wanted to major in. So I just did the studio arts one because it's kind of the general arts major, and I got in for that. But then pretty much as soon as I got in, I researched more into it and then changed my major to business and design, which is what I'm doing now, and I'll be getting a bachelor's of science for it. And pretty much all of these colleges I applied as a studio arts major unless they had illustration, which I think Syracuse was the only one that I actually applied to as an illustration major, meaning I also had to do a portfolio for most of these colleges. I'm not going to show you my portfolio because I low-key hate it. Oh my god, this is going to be so long. I'm going to cry. The colleges I applied to are Columbia College Chicago, Tulane University, RIT, which is the Rochester Institute of Technology, Carnegie Mellon, Virginia Commonwealth University, which is VCU, Syracuse University, Williams College, Northeastern University, Tufts University, Boston University, NYU, Stetson University, UF, which is the University of Florida, FSU, which is the Florida Southern University, Rollins, UCF, which is the University of Central Florida, and USF, which is the University of South Florida. The colleges that I did get into were Columbia College in Chicago, Rochester Institute of Technology, VCU, Virginia Commonwealth University, Syracuse University, Northeastern University, Boston University, Stetson, UF, FSU, Rollins, UCF, and USF. I got waitlisted actually originally to Syracuse, but then I got in, and then I got waitlisted to Tulane, and I got rejected from Carnegie. I think I got rejected from Williams, and then I definitely got rejected from Tufts, and I got rejected from NYU. But yeah. So I personally had to choose my college mostly just based off my financial aid. Because my parents are working class, so they really can't afford to send me to college for like the full price. So it was really just either Florida colleges, because we have this thing called Bright Futures and they'll like cover your whole tuition for Florida colleges. It was either that or pretty much like just Northeastern. I think Northeastern was my only out-of-state college that gave me like a lot of financial aid, enough where I could actually see myself going there. I did get financial aid from a lot of the other colleges, but it was like 50% or 60%, and it was like pretty much unless they gave me a full ride or like maybe 90% of the tuition, that was only when I would be able to go. But I was like pretty certain I would end up having to just go to UF because I would get like a full ride there. I don't think UF is a bad school, and it's actually gotten a lot harder to get into the school. So I just really didn't want to stay in Florida for college. Everything about it just doesn't work with me. I don't love Florida. Boston was like my dream. Anywhere northeast, really. My sister had already gotten into Tufts and was attending there. You know, she would tell me all these stories about Boston. We like kind of have the same sentiment towards Florida, so obviously I was like, I really need to get out of here. But yeah, and so it was between UF and then Northeastern. Please do not get the wrong idea of me. I understand that Northeastern is still pretty hard to get into and whatnot, but for me, I originally applied to Northeastern just because it was in Boston. I like did barely any research on the college, and I didn't even know they were known for co-ops, which is like what they're known for. So I like really didn't do my research. But I was like, oh, it's like in the area, it's in the city, so that's pretty cool. Let me just apply. And they seem to have a lot of art programs, so I was like, okay. And I really didn't think anything of it until I got in, and I was like, oh my god, that's so cool. What is Northeastern? So once I got in, that's when I obviously did all of my research. That's when I changed my major, because obviously I did my research. And that's when I learned about co-ops and things like that. And I was like, wow, this could actually be really good for me. And it's also the only school out of state that I could currently afford. But I am actually a first-gen low-income kid, and so they did give me quite a bit of scholarships and grants. So for my financial aid, I get a university grant, the federal Pell Grant, the federal SCOG grant, a Northeastern Honors Scholarship, and that's it. So altogether, I get $67,195 from the school every year. And that's split between 2 semesters, obviously. I also am eligible for the federal work studies program, so through that I could get $2,200 a year. But in general, with COVID, because there's not too many jobs or they're all remote, it's also been a little harder to get work studies. I know I've applied to some and just like never heard back from them, so I didn't get a work study this year. But they also offered me loans, which I rejected. The funny thing about college is, so in the beginning when I got my financial aid package, I was like $10,000 short of like full tuition, and we cannot afford to pay $10,000 a year for my college. We appealed the decision and they were able to get me federal grants, aka the Pell Grant and the SEOG grant. But their explanation to me, which I don't actually quite know how much I can trust this, because obviously there are such things as full ride scholarships, but my financial aid advisor basically told me that they just cannot give me any more university grant money or financial aid, because with the loans that they had offered me, federal loans that they had offered me, I technically got a full ride. But obviously that makes no sense, because loans are not financial aid necessarily, because I do have to pay it off, and I didn't want to take out any loans. I still had to pay $5,000 a year, which doesn't sound too bad obviously in the big scheme of things, but for us it was still not that great. And so I had to think really long and hard about it. I considered the fact that I would probably be going on co-ops, the money that I could save up doing part-time jobs over the summer, and whatever I could save throughout the semester. So after a lot of stressing out over the fact that we were still gonna have to pay around $5,000 a year, my family decided that they can figure it out, and they sent me to Northeastern. And so that was my very long and complicated journey into accepting my decision for college. But yeah, that's just like answering some of the questions you guys had about my financial aid and in general my experience with all of that. You guys are probably going to be a little shocked when I tell you guys my high school stats, just because they weren't like amazing. There's a point in junior year, like I had like a mental breakdown where I was like, I'm not going to get into any colleges. I failed my junior year. This is so freaking bad. I got like 3 B's that year. So I went to just a public school in Florida. There was 746 students in my grade that year. I ranked 53 out of all of those kids, which is the 92nd percentile. So I was top 8%. So my unweighted GPA was 3.69, obviously not great. My weighted GPA, however, was a 4.9. So that's not like too bad. This is because I took a lot of AP classes. Junior, I got like 3 B's and I thought I was gonna fail and like not get into college. But that's also partially because I decided to take 6 APs that year out of my 7 classes, and the only class that wasn't an AP was my orchestra class. My first year I took AP Human Geography, which is the only one we're allowed to take freshman year, AP Bio and AP World History in my second year, and then my junior year I took AP Art History, AP 2D Studio, AP Lang, AP Calc, AP BC. My high school had a teacher who could offer doing AP BC together, and so like first semester you learn AP, second semester you learn BC, and then you take the BC exam and get an AP sub score. So essentially I had 7 APs basically, and then AP Physics and AP US History. I take AP Lit, AP Gov, AP Macro, AP Stats, AP 3D Art. I took 5 APs my senior year, and then orchestra, and then I took biodiversity conservation and cultural diversity online through UF. I took 14 APs and then 2 college classes throughout my high school life. Basically, Northeastern only accepts 4s and 5s for the AP exams in terms of transferable credits. You can only get a max of 32 credits transferred from all your APs, and I was able to max out, so I did get those 32 credits transferred, which is why I'm not really taking any gen eds throughout my college life. I only took the SATs. I didn't take the ACT. I took the SAT 3 times. My first 2 times I got the same exact gauging score, which sucked because I took my first one and I got a 1460. I got an SAT tutor for like 2 months and took my second one and got a 1460. I stopped the tutor and then like just didn't study at all over the summer because I took that second one in like March, and then I got back senior year and took my last one in school, and I checked on my phone and I freaked out because I got a 1510 and I was able to get over that 1500 threshold by 10 points. I got like 760 on the math and then 750 on the reading. And then extracurricular wise, I really didn't have anything that's special. Like I was part of like NHS, Mu Alpha Theta, which is the National Math Honor Society, and then I was in like an AHS, which is the Art Honor Society. But I think what really got me into Northeastern, despite my somewhat just average like scores and school activities and whatnot, was just the fact that I mentioned that I have like my own business. Obviously, as you guys know, I run Soolin paper stuff, which is my Etsy, where I like sell stickers and stuff. And then I also mentioned how I like use my talents in the arts to raise money for different things. So because I mentioned things like that, I feel like that kind of got me through the door a bit.
So we got through my high school stats, my journey into Northeastern, some like basic information about me, my grade, where I am in college, etc., and my financial aid.
So we're just gonna go into the questions. Some of them relate to my financial aid, which is why I just explained that. So the only financial aid question I really got was just whether they give good aid. Does Northeastern give good aid in your experience? For that question, it's a little complicated. I definitely do think that, obviously for me at least, out of all the private universities and colleges that I got into, they gave me really good aid. But I think good aid doesn't necessarily equal completely matching your EFC. My FAFSA basically showed that my parents really can't contribute anything, but Northeastern didn't give me like a full ride, obviously. But they did give me quite a bit of money, and once I appealed, I was able to get some federal grants as well, so that definitely helped. I'm currently only paying $4,000 a year. That's also Massachusetts, the state, requires all college students to have a health insurance plan, and so usually you get it through your school. I asked them to like cover that for me, but like I explained in my financial aid explanation, they were like, we literally just cannot give you more aid, which I still think makes no sense. But anyway, I actually waived my health insurance plan through Northeastern, which is $2,099 a year, an extra $2,099 a year, which they don't put in your estimated cost of attendance. So like first semester I paid like $2,600 or something like that, and then this semester I pretty much paid the same amount, just like $2,000, because they let you decide to stay home if you want to this year because obviously COVID. But instead of saving money by staying home because you're not having to pay for housing and stuff, they reduced your grant or any whatever financial aid you got by like pretty much the same exact freaking amount, which sucks, right? Like that makes no sense. Obviously a lot of kids complain about this when they realized they were just paying the same amount to be at home versus on campus. Yeah, so Northeastern in that sense can really feel like cheapskates, and I kind of hate the administrative side of Northeastern, whether it's like advisors, because they low-key suck, and like counselors and stuff. I hate having to deal with the financial aid office. It's just annoying having to deal with like the financial side of college and constantly feeling like you had to fight the school for more money even though they can technically afford to give it to you. I'm so sorry if this is like super boring, but I'm like just gonna like go in random order now. Okay, and this is so funny to me, but I like totally understand because I definitely thought about that too. But a lot of questions on the bathroom situation. I was personally in East Village this past semester, and thankfully though for us, we do have private bathrooms in East Village. It's one of the newer buildings, so I think East Village and Ivy maybe are the only ones that have private bathrooms unless you're in like an apartment style housing. But basically it's you have a room, another room, and a bathroom in between. And so it's called like a suite style dorm or something. So you have 4 people sharing the same bathroom. And it's just 1 toilet, 1 shower, a mirror, and then you have individual sinks in both of the rooms. But some freshman dorms do have communal bathrooms. I think most of them do actually. And if you don't get into the honors program, you're not guaranteed any housing, or like you're not guaranteed a specific building. And so you just get a random one and there's no like choosing process for it. If you have specific like accommodations that you absolutely need, that's when they'll kind of like narrow down which buildings you'll get. And then I just got a lot of questions about the dorm situation for freshmen. So to just kind of explain simply, freshmen can't choose dorms unless you're in the honors program, which then you're guaranteed East Village, but that's it. And then starting from your second year, it's raffle based. So you apply for housing around pretty much almost beginning of spring semester, and then you get a raffle number basically, and that's like your line in choosing housing. And so using that number, you get a specific time slot in which you can go to the housing site or something and like choose which building you want, and there's like a list of it. The prices also get more expensive your second year for whatever reason, so that kind of sucks. But I can't tell you guys too much about it just because I'm actually not going through that raffle process, because I applied to be a HELA, like living learning community assistant or something. It guarantees you housing in East Village, and specifically in the apartment style housing, which is really nice in East Village. It's also really freaking expensive, but you do get a $2,000 stipend paid every semester, separated into $1,000 every semester. And I got that position. I applied like December, and I got the position after having the interview in January. I was like, well, no matter what, I'm just gonna end up living in East Village, or I'll get assigned to housing based off where they want me to be as an RA, because I also applied to be an RA. So either way, I like whether I got in as an RA or not, which the application process was a little later than the HELA position, I was gonna have guaranteed housing, so I didn't worry about the raffle thing. And I actually didn't realize like it was a raffle thing, and so I applied for housing really late. I got like a 5,600 position, which is like really bad. And so at that point you like get the worst housing based on whatever's left. I actually did get an RA position, which if you guys don't know already, it's the resident assistant, and they just live on the floor with you and basically just make sure, one, that you follow the rules, but they'll also like plan events and have like Zoom calls with you and just make sure you're comfortable where you are. I mean, obviously they get a bad rep just because they have to enforce rules and stuff. And so, you know, if you're partying, you're probably not gonna like your RA because they're gonna tell you not to do it. But most RAs, pretty much all of them, are usually just like chill students. I think I'm pretty chill, and I do want to actually get close to the people on my floor, so I hope no one's like too like, oh my god, you're an RA, please get away from me. So, you know, if you guys end up being on my floor and you see this, please reach out to me. Like, as much as I do have to enforce the rules, I also just like want to meet people. I'm probably gonna get a freshman housing just because I'm gonna be a sophomore. So it might be a little weird if I'm like in senior housing and like trying to like enforce rules to seniors. So I'll probably get freshman housing. So if any of you guys are on my floor or get me as an RA, please say hi. And so it'd be so cool if you guys saw me on campus or had me as an RA. Please reach out to me if you do see me. Like, I'm totally open to just saying hi. But yeah, feel free to reach out to me for sure. Even after this video goes up, if you guys have any questions, DM me on Instagram. My Instagram handle is gonna be somewhere on the screen. DM me, just reply to this video. I respond to pretty much every single comment you guys post, so let me know. Editing Soolin here. I'm so sorry, but the video is actually going to cut off here. The whole video ended up being a lot longer than I thought it would be. It's like an hour plus long, so I'm cutting it off here. I'm possibly going to turn into 3 or 4 parts, and the next parts will be uploaded in the next upcoming few weeks, possibly half weeks depending on how I feel. But this one will end here. I hope I got to answer some of your questions and at least got to show you more about me and my journey into Northeastern and my experience with all of that. And so I hope you guys enjoyed. I'm so sorry it's cutting off here. It's already like 25 minutes. Yeah, I will see you guys in the next video. Thank you so much for watching. Bye!